There we go. Suddenly, everyone gets a extra plus, what is it, 6 or something? I can actually do this, which I don't like doing, but I'm going to do it anyway. We're going to put a uranium slug turret here so that snipers will at least get hit by it. And one there. What kind of playthrough is this? Using turrets? Inconceivable. Turret only defense playthrough? Would that be hard? Yeah. I don't know if that would be possible or not. The current setup. With how turrets are currently set up in the game. Now with Igor Invader, it was actually pretty awesome. Turrets were insane. So Igor Invader was a modded storyteller that doubled all damage, and you got a raid every day. And if you had a death, you got another raid immediately. That playthrough is up on YouTube. It's actually a really crazy one. Lots of deaths on Igor, lots of losses. However, as soon as I found out that turrets also got the double damage buff, and we rushed to turrets, we got stabilized. Double damage turrets is a very weird thing to see, but they are really strong. Turrets are basically the same DPS output as a level 12 shooter with a short bow. Yeah, pretty much. Double that's actually pretty good. Look how cheap they are. Oh man, this volcanic winter is going to be potentially really dangerous. If we get a maximum length volcanic winter, the 40-day one, yeah, I don't know what we'll do. I wonder if using the jade fence as basically art near the shooting area would be worth it in this run. Probably would, but all right, mule, good luck, Godspeed, etc. Furious Beast. 75 manhunting mega sloths would kill this run 100%. We're just dead, so absolutely not. I don't care what the reward is. You could have offered me 1,000 res serums. It could have been some new quest reward that was like, hey, we'll res every single pawn that has died this run, and they'll be in tip-top shape immediately. You'll be up to 50 pawns. The answer is still no. Would you do it for a Klondike bar? I would still say no. Yeah. Odd lights need to keep away the darkness debuff because of all the other negatives. Yes. Pawns in darkness, unless you have something to overcome it, like the darkness meme or precept or a trait, is basically the same as having pessimist and 4 versions of slowpoke. So every time your pawn is in darkness, like walking through darkness, while they're in that darkness, they have a mood hit and they have a speed hit, which is the equivalent of pessimistic and 4 slowpokes, or having peg legs, basically. So yeah, having light everywhere that your pawns go is very good for both mood and speed. Highly suggest lighting up anywhere that they're going to be. It's been a long time since I built slug turrets. Yeah, the last time I actually built them in like a serious type run was probably a 20-year run, defending the way Tynan intended. Yeah, apparently he watches RimWorld streams. It doesn't surprise me, but during the interview he said that he watches them, but he didn't say what streams he watches. So hope he sees this one. It's like, yeah, conduits out in the open. Look at that. Lines of conduits exposed so raiders can light them on fire. Whew, just like I intended. Yeah. I don't think he intended no walls. That's the great thing about RimWorld. Doesn't matter what he intended. You can play however you want. And maybe that is what he intended. Is it possible to feed all your colony with only wildlife animals? You're gonna love this one. It depends on the size of your colony. If you have a very small colony and you're on a map that animals are there the whole time, then yeah, absolutely, you could do that. You know, make a freezer, have a low pawn count. Yeah. All right.
Our modest fellowship.
Another low shields. All right. Nice. Nice. Stabby the clown. Thank you for the subscription. Thank you, Stabby. Never thanked anyone with the name Stabby. With a name like Stabby, you probably aren't thanked very often, but I appreciate you. You can't help that you were born with the insatiable urge to just stab people, you know? I understand. Our subscribers' walls. It's easy to understand things like that when you have, you know, like the heart of like a 10-year-old boy. Speaking of, I should probably make sure that the organ vats in the closet are topped up with the formaldehyde after the stream. Oh, we're at 200,000 wealth now. Ooh. We're about 60,000 wealth away from raid cap. Oh, those marine helmets, guys. Those marine helmets. Trying Nomad Run. I didn't like it, yeah. People ask me about it all the time. There are 2 main runs that I get asked about every week, multiple times. One of them is a Nomadic Run. And the last time I did one, to be fair, was like 1.0, and I didn't finish it because I didn't get very far. And it wasn't because it was even difficult. I just really didn't like it. It was very tedious. I'm going to make sure that if I'm spending a crap load of times on a run, it's at least fun, you know? And so, yeah, that run just wasn't fun, so I never finished it. The other one that people ask a lot is Ice Sheet. And it was the same thing. I did an Ice Sheet run, but again, it was back in 1.0. I did the whole thing. And it was especially the early game was very, very tedious and long, and it wasn't very fun. But some people like those. I mean, it's everyone, you know, everyone's different. So some people actually really love the Nomad playthrough or whatever. Oh, the volcanic winter ended. It only lasted about 10 days. So definitely not minimum, but kind of lucked out again. This entire run has been extreme luck and extreme bad luck. All right, nice. So for those of you watching this later on YouTube or VOD or maybe the edited version, you're like, wait a second, what's going on with Adam's hair? Because who knows when this is going to go out. I did a RimWorld charity event where we had different breakpoints that if we raised certain amounts of money, I had to do certain things. And this, one of the things this year was I had to get a mohawk. So we actually raised $18,000. Our community alone raised $18,000 in 4 hours, which is absolutely nuts. So I got to do a lot of things. I got to get this haircut. I got to get it dyed. I have to dress as a woman for a stream. But anyway, that is why it's for charity. We raised as a group $125,000 for Doctors Without Borders. So kind of crazy that RimWorld actually saved lives the other week instead of, you know, ruining digital lives only. So I haven't actually played this in almost a week because Dwarf Fortress came out and I've been playing that. Almost all of our weapons are Masterwork now, and we are getting marine helmets. Now, the scary thing about this is we haven't been attacked with a normal raid in a little while. And if we look, we actually have higher wealth when we lost those people, I think. We're at about where we were. So we were at 211,000. So our biggest thing right now is that we want to get more colonists and keep pumping out Masterwork weapons and get everyone switched over or into marine helmets. So it looks like we're working on mainly marine helmets. We finished our research and I threw a bunch of scanners up. So we are scanning like crazy. Currently grabbing plasteel, normal steel, got a lot of uranium around. So yeah, the goal today is going to be to get more shooters and get Masterwork weapons on more people and get marine helmets on everyone. All right, so we're going to try to get more people in the colony. I gotta plant more food, actually, which is kind of crazy. It might actually be time to plant like corn and stuff over here. I know. Adam, corn? I know. In some situations though, especially head tattoo and some die away for passing as Randy Random. Why do I hate on corn? I don't hate on corn. I literally tell everyone when I go over food that it depends. In my playthrough, it's usually safer in my style to use rice. So rice has a trade-off. It's more work time, but it's more consistent, less prone to events causing you to have trouble in your food supply. You know, there's benefits and detriments of both crop. So I could do hydroponics outside. I've thought about it, and now that we're at the downside of doing hydroponics outside is I'm gonna need more power. On this map though, hydroponics outside would be just fine. I would need more power. Chem fuel is efficient enough that I could just have enough hydroponics that it actually pays for itself in energy. I'm gonna put more chem fuel though that's not dangerous. It's gonna be dangerous no matter where I put it, I suppose. All right, what's my all-time favorite video game? So people ask me that sometimes, pretty often actually, and here's the problem with it. Most of my all-time favorites are admittedly because of nostalgia reasons, but there are a few modern games on the list. So some of my favorite games of all time: StarCraft Brood War, Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest. And then some modern ones are Sekiro, God of War 2018, Bloodborne. Those ones are up there. Yeah, a lot of my favorite games of all time are nostalgia based, like Super Mario World and Diddy Kong's Quest. You know, Mario RPG is up there. Ocarina of Time, of course. So compared to other FromSoft games, where is Sekiro on the difficulty scale? Here's the thing about the difficulty of Sekiro. Sekiro can be easier than some of the other FromSoft games if you learn the mechanics. If you try to brute force it, you are going to get hard countered and punished later in the game. Hang on, MECHS. I'll go back into this. Don't let me forget. We got centipedes and a war queen. Oh my god. Okay, that's right. The war queen is actually going to cause. We're gonna get shot by it no matter what we do. So now, as soon as we shoot at a centipede, Now we pull back. We pull back. Shoot again. Pull back. Pull back. Tiny kite centipedes. Assault rifles outrange centipedes by a few tiles for every centipede other than minigun centipedes. So as soon as you shoot them, you just pull back about 3 tiles. Okay, we're gonna pull up enough to hit the war queen. Other raid is not here yet. So again, as soon as we fire, that means the centipede's just about 3 tiles away from being able to fire at us. So as soon as we hear people fire, we then click pull back. There we go. Mule got hit, so let's check him. Is the other raid coming? It's not coming yet, so we're gonna wait on that one. In fact, let's grab Bossy here and just tinned. These guys can go back. Line infantry, yeah. Wow, that charge blaster from the turret actually doing some bigger damage than I would have thought. I think you just leveled up in RimWorld watching that strategy. It makes centipedes a lot easier. This is why I use assault rifles. That is one of the main reasons. People ask me sometimes, pretty often too, like, why are you using assault rifles over XYZ? That's why. All right, pull back. Fire, pull back. Back again. We need to disable these. We're gonna hold fire on those so we don't get friendly fire. Back. Back. Now that we're behind them, we will turn fire back on. That one's shooting the turret. So we're just gonna get barely in line of shooting him. Who needs medical treatment? Pull them back, get bossy on them. 10, grab the others. All right, double boss mech raid is done. Only a few superficial injuries from the queen. All right, back to my Sekiro thing. So back when I did my blind playthrough of Sekiro, apparently that XQC guy was playing through Sekiro and he didn't learn the mechanics of it. He brute forced his way all the way to the final boss in the same actual final boss that I fought. There's multiple endings, but Sword Saint Ishin, right? Ishin the Sword Saint. And he got there, and Ishin, you have to know the mechanics. Unless you like cheese it with like speedrunner strategies or something. You have to, and even then, you have to know the mechanics. You have to know how to Makiri counter. You have to know which moves to get out of. You have to know what to do when a certain symbol pops up. You have to know that stuff, or Ishin will absolutely destroy you. So he got there without it. And apparently, he did like 450 plus attempts on Ishin before he killed him. I can't even imagine that. I almost killed Ishin on my second attempt. I think it took me like 6, maybe 8 to kill Sword Saint Ishin. And it took him like almost 500 attempts because he was just like brute forcing the rest of the game, where it's like, all right, I've respawned. I'm just going to run straight there. I'm just going to fight and hopefully I kill him, sort of thing. So anyway, it doesn't work on Ishin. Ishin was one of the most fun final boss fights actually that I've had, but there's a lot of good fights in Sekiro. And here's something that annoys me with Elden Ring. So I remember when I played through Sekiro and I got to a boss that was a big boss, right? And the camera adjusted based on the boss size. And I was immediately like, oh my God, From Software has figured it out. They've done it, guys. They've done it. Now, when I'm fighting these big epic bosses, I don't only see a leg or zoomed into a groin. They figured out that the camera should zoom out on these epic boss fights, and it's okay that your character is smaller during them. Excellent. And then Elden Ring went right back. We're just right back to being zoomed in on everything. All right, back to drum festivals. Killbox has always felt like cheese in the game. Yeah, I remember. I'm a really big history buff, and one of my favorite history facts is that armies would show up at a castle And then they would start yelling complaints that the enemy was cheesing them. Hey, why is there only one way into your castle? How come you have those murder holes there? This is bullcrap. Castles need nerfed. That's one of my favorite history facts. Oh, look, tough on a vet child. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty, were invented, cause fortifications were imbalanced. Engineers were spiteful of the meta changes. Is there any like YouTube channel that does stuff like that out of curiosity? That reads patch notes, but it's like from history. That would be pretty awesome. No, 2 gourmand babies. Ow. Sure you know about the ancient Roman graffiti with stuff like Claudius was here? Yes, yeah, I talk about that sometimes. Yeah. I do remember when there was like this reveal type thing of some of the stuff in like Pompeii they found. It was like, oh, there's like writing on these walls in Pompeii. What could it mean? And they bring someone in that can read it. I think it's Pompeii. I don't remember which one, which city, but let's just say it is. Fret, ye women of Pompeii, for, and then his name now prefers the company of men or something like that. So, and then all the other ones were like, yes, crotch jokes and literally like things like Claudius was here, you know, like literally the same crap you see in a Walmart or a 7-Eleven bathroom was like on the public baths in like Greek cities and whatnot. It's so funny. Who study history are doomed to watch others repeat it. Those who don't study history are doomed to be asked, is this a wall? For a good time, call, and there's Roman numerals. Yeah. I lived out in the country, right? Like very rural place. And we would go camping out in the middle of nowhere, you know, where you can see like a million stars and you hear weird things in the woods, but animals make really weird friggin' noises. So the Appalachians coming out, yeah. There's some animals can make some really weird friggin' noises. But I remember from a very young age, because I would go out, me and my cousins would go out. We'd just go out in the woods. Like we would eat breakfast. This is when I was little too. Like we're talking like 8 or 9. I would eat breakfast. And then the woods were really close, like right there. And we would go outside and we would just go for the day, right? We would just like go outside. Me and my cousins would go in the woods. And we would wait until like my mom would yell out that it was dinner time. And it would literally echo off the hills and the mountain, you know? And so you would hear weird things. And I was told from a very young age, it was like, if you hear what sounds like a girl screaming, don't go to it. Like literally, I was told that all the time. It's like, if you're out in the woods and you hear a girl screaming, do not go to that sound. And of course, me being a kid was like, why? Is it a ghost? No. It's a big cat. It's a big friggin' cat. Like, you know, just go the other way. What if it ends up it was a girl being eaten by a giant cat? Sucks for them, I guess. I also remember being told when I was little to like, if we're going somewhere to make cougar in your area, to make noise as we go as well, you know, so we don't accidentally walk up on some big cat or even a snake. Lots of poisonous snakes in Southeast Tennessee. I remember walking around by the creek when I was a kid saying things like, hey snake, hey bear, hey snake, like that. All right, got some scanned gold. Oh, we got something that's close by. Yes. We're gonna need that. We're gonna need that one. All right, so we almost have marine helms on everyone. Getting real close. Does art give buff outside or are you exporting it? It does give things outside. So there's a couple different beauty stats in the game, and one of them is beauty here. The beauty here stat is still around a statue. So even though we won't get like a beautiful room or like a room buff, if we do put statues around where they are, they will still get, especially where they're staying, like if we put a statue over here and it encompasses this area, they still will get like the beauty here buff basically for being in a beautiful area. So, and now that we're nearing raid cap, we're not quite there, but we're very, very close. I might as well start doing it. Yeah, there's actually a lot of beauty stats. There's room beauty, there's beauty here, there's object beauty, and then there's pawns beauty as far as, and the pawns beauty itself is different than its social impact. So there's a lot of weird things of beauty. Yeah, there's a lot of different beauty stats that are just called beauty. How much colony wealth is too much? There's no right answer. There's no such thing as too much as long as you can defend it. So it becomes too much when the amount of raiders you get from having the wealth is more than you can handle. That's the only real answer. If you want some more detailed answer on wealth, I have a wealth guide. Now, for me, on 500%, though, I will say, for me on 500%, I do know, like, some breakpoints with my playstyle that I don't want to get to until I have certain research done, right? So, like, I try to get mortars before I get to around 25,000 wealth or so. And then after I get mortars and some guns, then I'm good till about 80,000 wealth. And then when I get to around 80,000 wealth, I try to only get new wealth as new colonists that can help defend. So, but again, that's my playstyle, and that's 500% and no pause and all that crap. But it can be very different depending on your difficulty and things like that. But as long as you can handle the raid size, there isn't too much, you know? It depends. That's right. All right, I'm going to select all the turrets. I'm going to hit hold fire. Dug too deep, infestations don't really scale. It's as big as they get, so it's kind of nuts. Hey, Masterwork rifle. The weapon bears an artwork of a mega spider being overcome without emotion or expression. The mega spider's eyes glow orange. The work is shaded in hues of orange and red. That's pretty cool. I like that one. At what point of pawns and equipment are you thinking of ship launch? Here's what I want to happen. I want to see a max wealth raid, max raid point raid of explosive pirates and a manhunter attack. If we can handle both of those things without getting damage or much damage, then I think we're ready to build the ship. 100 shooting specialists with Masterwork plus weapons. That would make it, yeah, that would be no problem. He wants you to provide 24 soldiers, 7 wasters. It's basically like a free low shield as long as the base doesn't get attacked while we're gone. Low shields, we need them. I would like a low shield on every single person, honestly. I think I might do that one. Send your soldiers away, Randy says. What's the worst that could happen, Randy says. All right, hurry, hurry, hurry. All right. Get in the clown shuttle, let's go. Oh, these guys are super screwed. I don't even care about the base loot. I just want that low shield. They have blasphemous walls in the mall, in the mall. There we go, low shields. Is Word of Love any good? Word of Love is good, but you have to be a little bit careful with it. So it isn't forever. So what I mean by that is if you are using Word of Love on people that normally wouldn't really like each other very much, you're probably gonna have to keep using Word of Love on them forever to make them stay together. Like if they're just not prone to, but if you use it to help people along that are already liking each other and they're already increasing, then it can definitely be worth it. So yeah, Word of Love is decent. That's true too. Yeah, it can help with your high mate linking with the correct person. Yeah. So I still want to ally the pig people. We're not super far away from it. Let's see what we can put in here. All right, let's see what that would get us. Plus 21. All right, whatever. Ah, great. Would insects offer protection against pirates or be more of an issue? Okay, so here's the problem in this one. In a normal run, when you have walls and you have insects spawned out somewhere, you can close your doors, and then when a raid spawns, they will actually go target the insect hives, right? However, in this one, I would need the raiders or mechs or whatever to spawn where the insects already are. So what options does that give us? I could probably get bugs to spawn here. And then if raiders spawn in any of these places, they'll draw the bugs. So that one might be a good one overall. But like spawning bugs here, this one's just going to multiply and probably basically never get pulled. Just if a raid spawns here. So the thought in this one is, obviously we can cull the bugs. Bugs got nerfed. So for anyone that didn't know, 1.4 has changed it so that infestations can only get 20 hives. You can only roll with 20 hives, not 40 or 45 like they used to. So they've been nerfed, so they're a lot easier for us to take care of, which also means that they're not going to do as great against raids, but it could absorb doomsdays. So, having said all that, if I do a bug bait, it would probably best here, as that's more likely. But even doing a bug bait here is going to be hard, because one of the criteria that makes it more likely for bugs to spawn is for it to be enclosed. So, I mean, I could technically, you know, go in here to overhead and like build some chairs or something. And it will give us a slight chance to have bugs there, but it's still not going to be a very high chance. Yeah, I can't force raiders to go where the bugs are in this one because I don't have walls, if that makes more sense. Hey, another one. An engraving on this weapon portrays an engineer holding a gauntlet. If you squint your eyes, the vertical composition of the image reveals the outline of a chief. The work seems to represent thirst. What kind of thirst are we talking about here? Oh, chief. Oh, chief. So we're going to use beer not only for happiness because we're high life, we're also going to use it to make some allies. Let me know that you suck at RimWorld. Well, here's the thing, book blocks. Are you having fun with RimWorld? If you're having fun with RimWorld, that means you're playing it correctly and you're doing a good job. Another dug too deep. What is going on? Whoa, no. Hang on, hold those shots. Whew. I like that sound, but not when they're right behind us. Thump, thump. It's like, take it easy. Take it easy. I haven't really played Satisfactory, you know. I like played it for a couple hours off stream as just a chill thing, but so we actually have marine helms on everyone, so we could start producing something else with our advanced components. Which bionics do you think are worth the wealth increase? So at the moment, we're almost at raid cap anyway, so it won't matter for me. But in general, what I like to do is I usually like to get a bionic arm on the crafters first to help them make the other bionics faster. So I'm actually thinking about making bionic arm for Bossy and for Bella. And then I usually end up going with one bionic leg, one bionic eye on everyone for the first set of bionics if I'm doing bionics. We're raid capped. That's kind of scary. I don't know about the giant manhunter attacks, you know. If we get like 50 elephants, I don't know. What does that mean? We are now going to get as big a raids as you can possibly get in the game. Yeah. Hard worker, nice. Hard working psychopath. That's what I like to see in a baby. It's a very good child. So we have this one. Abrasive. That sucks too. Do I prefer the genetic part of biotech or the mech stuff? Kind of the genetic stuff because you can just make god pawns. Well, I mean, I guess I should say I actually like the children part. From a min-max standpoint, the children is pretty awesome because you can just make god pawns. Volatile. Volatile gourmand. Yeah. This weapon's engraved with an illustration of a heart surrounded by ellipses. The scene takes place in the outskirts of a town. So it's just a heart and a bunch of like periods. Nice. Excellent. There it is. Wow, look at that artwork in chat. Holy crap. I didn't know you guys were also Masterwork artists. Slow learner. Oh my god. Gourmand slow learner. Ooh, that's terrible. Let's see what this will get us. Plus 26. All right, so we got 2 allies, so now we can call those in to absorb Doomsdays. Should now work on allying the Empire to call them in for Doomsday absorption as well. Mad Stallion. All right, let's get a little bit of shooting experience here. Insanity Lance Micro. Yeah, it's almost impossible with no pause. That's like when I had that raid coming where they had a bunch of Doomsdays and triple rockets, and someone in the chat was like, "Oh, that's easy. Just hit each of those with an Insanity Lance." And I'm like, yeah, it's as easy as that. What was the other one? What's another one that people say a lot? They're like, why don't you use invisibility more often to deal with mech clusters? You know that like 20 seconds you get of invisibility? It feels like a lot less, or I should say it feels like a lot more when you can pause, yeah? Just fine. I mean, I like playing like this. This is the way I like to play, but there are some things that aren't as viable with no pause, of course. All right, we're going to get some more walking area here since wealth doesn't matter. The raids are made up and wealth doesn't matter. How long do I think until the ship launch? I think after these VAT people are adults, I'll probably look into starting to get parts of the ship. How much lower is my wealth in this kind of build? I think we would actually have probably like 40,000 or more wealth than what we'd have now if we had buildings and stuff like that, yeah. 20 to 40,000, I would guess. Is this run still fun for me? Has it become a chore? It hasn't felt like a chore yet, no. I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I'm being extra cautious now, though, that I think it's possible. So if anyone's wondering, like, well, why are you playing so slowly now? Well, I didn't think it was going to be possible to do this run, and now I'm pretty sure I can do it. And I don't want to screw it up because we might not get another run as lucky as this one started out as. So attempt 2 might go into attempt 20. Sometimes you have your best attempt on the first or second try. Do I sometimes damage my own weapons to reduce wealth? I don't. You can do that if you want to do it extremely. Like if you want to extremely manage wells, you can absolutely do that. A siege. I have a caveat to that that I'll explain in just a second. Doomsday triples. All right, so we are going to call in help to absorb the Doomsday. So this is why we made allies. We're going to call in the pigs. So these friendlies, we're only hoping they absorb the Doomsdays. Anything beyond that is just icing on the cake. There's one rocket. Oh, the low shields. Yes. There's the other rocket. We're good now. They are out of low shields and rockets. Thank you, pig people. I very much appreciate you. Crap, they're getting a shot off. Oh, nice shot. All right, let's go. All right, we're good.